Hey everyone, welcome to my channel today. I don't even know what number share this is, but I think it is number 5 for Anna's Craft Cupboard for November. Again, I'm using the stunning Midnight collection. Here's the page I'm creating and I'm going to disappear and come back on live. Enjoy. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel again today. Busy week here, so not just on my Scrappy channel, but life in general has been busy. And as you can see, I have already started putting this page together. I've kind of been working in fits and spurts, getting in 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there. And this is as far as I've got with my page design, and then I thought I would put the camera on. So all I've got here is I've got this photo of myself, my husband and my 2 children. This was in 2016. It was one of the first holidays we went on to a friend's farm, and I thought that I would scrap the photo because it's fun. I have pulled out, again, more of the Midnight collection. I'm using the Bloom and Grow, which I'm really thinking that I'm going to find an ugly piece of cardstock so that I'm not wasting all of this middle section. But that's what I've come up with so far, that design there. As you can see, I'm gonna cut this here, and I'll have a strip on either side. I've also cut off this strip, which I've cut in half to go on either side. So I'll pop you on fast forward and I'll get to work. I'm going to do a bit of mixed media, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so now you know my thought process, where I'm up to. I'm going to start sticking. I have pulled out this green piece of cardstock, and would you believe it, I have got out my T-square ruler to make sure things are straight. Funnily enough, I think in the end my page is not centered, but it doesn't bother me. It's all good. I also told you a lie in my live section. This was not a trip to a friend's farm. This was a trip. We hadn't been camping for a really long time, and we thought we'd brave it with the 2 children. I remember actually, total side story, but I remember when we were going, we were camping not far from a beach, and my little guy is a bit of an explorer and adventurer. You know, he's there and then he's suddenly not. And I remember being terrified that he would manage to get out of the tent and get to the water before, you know, in the middle of the night, that kind of thing, because he also wasn't sleeping through the night. There you go. Total side note, nothing to, well, kind of nothing to do with this page, but there you go, a little bit about my ratbag devil. He's now 6-year-old. So as you can see, I have started by sticking down the center pieces. Now, I did say that I wasn't going to use this whole pattern paper. That's the whole reason why I've got that green cardstock. And I measured it and I cut, so I had just enough. I cut 4.5 inches off one side, and I have, now I know that my layer is not centered because I've got 2.5 inches on one side and 2 inches on the other. But that's okay. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. So yeah, it's all good. I'm just adhering all the panels down to make sure that they are stuck good enough for me to add some mixed media, ruffling up the edges just a little bit. You will see later on that I come in and do that a bit more, but like I said, I wanted to add some mixed media. What am I doing? I think the gesso is coming out next. Yep. So some white gesso, and I'm using it's about 1 inch wide dry paintbrush, and I'm just painting that gesso on. Now, I knew I was working on a center design. I knew my photo was going right in the middle on the top third, and so I'm just using my photo as a guide to where I need that gesso. You can't even really see where the gesso is on the finished page, but that's okay because it was more about getting the color on the page. As I said, I wanted to fussy cut some of these flowers, so that's exactly what I started to do. I don't end up using them on this page, but I do have them. I'm using some of them on my next page. So that's the flowers I cut off and the leaves. This collection is just stunning, and I have all that left to cut. So I don't end up using it, but I just thought I'd show you what I cut out. Using my watercolors here. Now, if you don't have watercolors, you could use mists, you could use acrylic paint, just water it down. You could use magical shakers, you could use like any of the colour burst powders, you could use colour artist inks, you could use ink pads, anything that gave you the right colour combination. I wanted to match the blue, the deep, deep blue in this collection as close as I could. So I have mixed the navy from my watercolours with some black. And you saw I tested that on a little scrap of paper. The navy by itself was too bright, but adding the black in, and I was so impressed with the colour match. So you can see I've just used the packaging technique and I've smooshed all that colour onto the background. I'm just going to use my watercolour brush here as well, just to move the colour around, tip the page around, and get some colour happening. You will see, I think, that I bring my photo in, take it away, add a bit more colour. And yeah, I'm super happy with the colour combination I had here. So like I said, a navy blue with just a tiny bit of black, and I've got just the right colour. I'm going to add some splatters here. You can see I'm just mixing up some of that colour again onto some packaging. This one I decided was a little bit too watered down, and I don't think you see this on camera, but I do mix up another batch with a bit less water. I also go in with some gold, surprise, surprise, and some pink. So I've got my layers here. I'm going to start with my photograph. I think I'm sorry I left this in. I did toy with the idea of putting some pink behind the photo, and then I went, no, I'm going to go with tissue paper again. So I'm just getting some tissue paper. I'm just going to trim it down. I thought, now let's just make some messy layers behind and see how we go. Now I'm going to trim it down a little bit. These scissors are awesome. Love, love, love. And just as a side note, when I fussy cut the flowers, I used my tiny baby Tim Holtz scissors. You can see the handle there. I'm going to start. So I wanted to pop my photo up. I'm using some cardboard. We all know why, because I'm tight. And I'm just going to pop up the bottom part of that family die cut. And then I'm going to distress the edges of all of my paper pieces here and start sticking those down. That top one says memories are made of this. This is the journaling card. I've cut that from one of the pattern papers. I think it's the All the Things pattern paper. I knew with the mixed media in the background and even that text paper in the background, there wasn't going to be somewhere that I would be able to add my journaling to keep it legible. So I went, you know what? I will use a journaling card. I can layer my title on there and go from there. I have got my, I totally forgot the name of this tool, but it's awesome. Tim Holtz stamp platform. I think that's what it's called. Far out. And I've got a stamp from my stash. I did originally grab my LS Studio Title Builder Volume 2 stamp set, but it didn't have the right word, so I grabbed this one from my stash. This is actually the #1 version of that same stamp set, but these stamp sets are so awesome. You can build such awesome titles. That piece, so the memories are made of this, and then that blue one that says here and now is what it's all about, are from the other cut apart sheet. Now I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but it's got all different sized cut aparts and I love it. So I'm just gluing all my bits and pieces down. I love this banner and I really have my doubts about whether I would be able to use it, and I got it on a page. I'm so excited. sometimes I think it's really sad that I'm so excited by little things, and then I'm like, no, that's a good thing. It means I'm not too hard to please most of the time. So I'm using my scissors here to rough up the edges of all of those strips of paper, and I'm just doing some final embellishing. I've pulled out the chipboard there, and I end up using the Love You. So that little purpley bluey coloured banner right up the top says Love You, and then I've got 4 hearts that I'm going to use as well. You can see I'm just sticking them down. Going to add my journaling, and it says it had been a long while since we had been camping, so we packed ourselves up and headed north for the long weekend and camping. I'm going to add a sticker from the accessory sticker sheet here with my date, and then I'm going to pull in 3 of the little word stickers from down the bottom. So the one right at the bottom says remember this, the one on top of the banner says happy day, and then the one right at the top says together. That is my page done. No, it's not. I lied. Some more gold splatters. I just decided that I wanted to bring that gold to the front of the page a little bit more, so I'm just sprinkling away. I actually made sure I covered my photo up, which is success for me because I always forget. So I'm going to give you a close-up on the video, and then I've got all my still photos. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. I have one more share coming with this collection for Anna's Craft Cupboard, so stay tuned. We have got the Anna's Craft Cupboard Craft Day coming up next weekend, the 24th. So if you're local, we would love to see you. There's only a few spots left though, so hopefully by the time this goes live, there's a couple of spots left. And if you desperately want to come, please do. I will be there, and I'm really looking forward to meeting some of the lovely followers that we have got. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you're enjoying all these shares this week, and I will see you again very soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye.